Some NHL players' careers end unexpectedly. These players pour every single thing they have into trying to make it to the show. However, sometimes life gets in the way and throws you a curveball. We've seen some players lose their career to injuries and illnesses, and it's sad to say, but there have also been more than a few untimely deaths in the NHL. You can't help but wonder the impact these players would have had if they were able to play out the rest of their careers. With that being said, here are 6 NHL players who died during their playing career. Bill Barilko, August 26, 1951. During his brief tenure in the NHL, Bill Barilko secured 4 Stanley Cups as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. His decisive goal in Game 5 of the 1951 Stanley Cup Final, which clinched the championship against the Montreal Canadiens, is something Toronto Maple Leaf fans will remember forever. On August 26, 1951, Barilko embarked on a fishing expedition to Seal River, Quebec, accompanied by his friend and pilot Henry Hudson aboard a small float plane. Tragically, neither of them would ever return. Their whereabouts remained a mystery for 11 years until June 6, 1962, when the wreckage of their plane was finally located, a staggering 56 kilometers off its intended course. The crash was attributed to a combination of factors, including inexperienced piloting, an overloaded aircraft, and adverse weather conditions. Bill Barilko was only 24 years old at the time of the accident. His untimely death marked the onset of what is known as the lost years, a period of decline for the Toronto Maple Leafs following their dominant decade. Coincidentally, the Leafs would actually break out of that drought in 1962, the same year that Barilko's remains were discovered. Bill Masterson, January 5th, 1968. Bill Masterson remains the sole player in NHL history to have succumbed directly due to injuries sustained during the game. In a matchup where the Oakland Seals faced off against the Minnesota North Stars, Masterson endured a forceful collision with 2 Seal defenders that resulted in a backward fall headfirst into the ice. This incident led to his loss of consciousness and significant bleeding from his nose, ears, and mouth. It's been said that prior to this fatal blow, there were indications of a brain hemorrhage affecting Masterson, resulting in multiple episodes of blackout. Some reports even indicate that after the collision, Masterson managed to utter the words, "Never again, never again." Tragically, he passed away 2 days later, surrounded by his family. His passing ignited a contentious debate within the league regarding the implementation of mandatory helmets across all teams. Subsequently, the Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy was established in 1968, an annual award given to the player who exhibits the utmost sportsmanship and commitment in the league. At the time that this accident occurred, Masterson was only 29 years old. Terry Sawchuk, May 31st, 1970. The incident that ultimately led to the death of Terry Sawchuk, who is widely regarded as one of the most exceptional goaltenders in the history of the NHL, was described as a mere fluke. Following a 10-year period of diminishing performance that saw him don jerseys for 4 different teams, including 2 stints with the Detroit Red Wings, it seemed as though Sawchuk was nearing retirement, having participated in just 8 games for the New York Rangers during the 1969-1970 season. However, Sawchuk would not progress beyond that off-season. During a vacation alongside his teammate Ron Stewart, a physical altercation erupted between the two regarding outstanding payments related to their shared rental property. Sawchuk bore the brunt of this altercation, sustaining internal injuries that necessitated multiple surgical interventions. Regrettably, Sawchuk's health never rebounded and he passed away on May 31st, 1970. Stewart was absolved of any wrongdoing by the court, given that Sawchuk's passing was attributed to accidental circumstances. Tim Horton, February 24th, 1974. While the name Tim Horton is widely recognized due to the chain of donut and coffee shops that bears his name, fewer individuals beyond the realm of hockey are acquainted with his role as one of the greatest defensemen to play the game. Following a defeat at the hands of his former team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 44-year-old Buffalo Sabre at the time embarked on a journey south of the border. On this road trip, Tim Horton was actually driving a car that was gifted to him prior to the season by the Sabres general manager as an incentive for him to commit to one more season with the team. It was reported that Tim Horton actually played through games contending with injuries to his jaw and ankle. During the drive back to Buffalo, he turned to alcohol as a form of self-medication. In the early hours of February 24th on Ontario Street in St. Catharines, Ontario, near the Buffalo border, Tim Horton lost control of his car. The ensuing collision with the median led to multiple flips, ejecting him approximately 200 feet from his vehicle. His blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit, and conflicting reports emerged regarding the presence of prescription drugs in his system. Various bottles, along with a partially consumed vodka bottle, were discovered in his car. The damage was just too severe, and Tim Horton was declared dead upon arrival at the hospital. Steve Chaseon, May 3, 1999. At the age of 32, Steve Chaseon, a defenseman with a remarkable 14-year tenure for the Carolina Hurricanes, met a tragic end as a result of driving under the influence. After a disheartening playoff elimination at the hands of the Boston Bruins, the team congregated at the residence of another seasoned Carolina player, Gary Roberts. Following several hours at the gathering, Chaseon made the decision to depart the party. According to accounts, various attendees at the gathering tried to stop him from getting behind the wheel, yet Chaseon would just not listen, saying he lived close by. While he was driving home, Chaseon's pickup truck deviated from the road before rapidly correcting its course, resulting in a flip. This abrupt motion ejected him from the vehicle. Authorities reported that excessive speed, coupled with Chaseon's elevated blood alcohol content, contributed to the crash. Derek Bogard, May 13, 2011. On May 13, 2011, Derek Bogard, a member of the New York Rangers, succumbed to an unintended drug overdose. This tragic event occurred during a period when Bogard was in the process of recuperating from a recent concussion. In an effort to address his struggles with addiction, he sought out assistance at a rehabilitation facility in California in April of that same year. 2 individuals were implicated in supplying Bogard with substances that played a role in his fatal overdose. Following the ingestion of a painkiller on May 12th, Bogard engaged in an evening of socializing and drinking with friends within the city. Unfortunately, the following day, he was tragically found deceased. Thanks for watching our videos. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button.